Got to hit like a million buttons here.
You know nothing about this, do you?
Instagram.
I had to do it Monday.
Facebook. And X. I think we're good. And I silence Discord so it's not beeping all the time. All right. All right, let's see here. All right, so this is 2694. Let's see, Monday. Ooh, no holiday, but I got to give a shout out to my wife. It's her last week teaching.
Awesome.
Not that I'm jealous.
Yeah. CJ's he's not a teacher, but he does work in the school system here in town. So
You get to retire this year?
no.
I know. Me neither. I know. I should have stuck it out. I'd be retired in like 2 years.
Got like 10 teachers, I think, retiring this year.
Everybody wants to get out. I'm telling you. Yeah, it's a tough gig.
It is.
I can't complain. I love what I do. I mean, I wouldn't change. I did 17 years, and this is the bomb. So, but being retired, that might be the bomb times 2. I don't know, but I love this. All right, let's see. 2694. Here we go. Welcome to episode 2694 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Monday to you. Hope you had a great weekend, and let's settle in for another week here in the middle of May, where all of our teacher friends are getting, again, so close to the end of the year, but this is just survival mode. And the temptation is there to just show a movie. And if you have to, I say it's okay. I mean, but of course, I'm not your administrator, so do as you will. But just hang in there. Summer is right around the corner, and hopefully your next Disney vacation is going to be there right as you send the kids out the door. You pack up your desk, and you get ready to get the suitcases out and head out on a Disney cruise. Head to Disneyland, maybe to celebrate 70 years out there. That looks pretty amazing. The Muppets are coming to World of Color. We saw that last week. I love that idea. Lots of new things out there. Or Walt Disney World. Cool kids summer. Lots coming down there this year too. So either way, everybody hang in there. Summer is going to be there soon. Parents are thinking, oh, my kids are going to be home for like 90 days straight. Yeah, take them to a Disney destination. It's fun for everybody. Anyway, we're going to have a good time with a trip report. Oh, before that, I got to send a shout out to my wife. Got to do it here on the show. Today, her last Monday ever of her teaching career. That's right. She is retiring from teaching on Friday. So this is her last Monday. So if she has a case of the Mondays today, hey, this is it. I mean, everybody gets a case of the Mondays. She can deal with it today because she can just say, this is it. So super excited for my wife. And we'll give her a shout out again on Friday because that is it. But today we're here to talk about a fun trip report. We're going to talk about Disney's Beach Club. We're going to talk about escaping the Northeast in the wintertime to get down to the nice, beautiful weather in Florida, which is always a great thing. We have a couple of folks joining us today. We have Zach and CJ up in Connecticut. Zach first, how you doing today? What's going on?
Oh, not much, Mike. Just trying to make it through the week here as we're recording. Getting ready to run my first half marathon over the weekend. So by the time the show airs, that will be a thing of the past, but looking forward to that.
Well, let me be the first to say congratulations on that PR.
Thank you.
That's guaranteed.
Absolutely.
Gotta love that. That's awesome. I mean, I love that you're out there running your first half marathon, and you've done that obviously this past weekend. And I heard you're going to be out there with Ultimate Lizard Molly, who kind of takes care of a bunch of us. She helped me get signed up for the Disneyland 5K, which I'm eternally grateful to her for that.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. And also joining us, we have CJ as well. CJ, thanks for coming on the show as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So CJ, let me start with you. So give me a little backstory for your Disney fandom. Like you're sitting there rocking the Pizza Planet shirt, which I've looked at that shirt 13 times in various stores, World of Disney, all over property. And I've not bought it yet, but I'm not saying I won't buy it when I'm down there in about 2 weeks when I look at another store, especially, now it's Pizza Rizzo's going away. It's like,
Absolutely, yeah.
it gives me an excuse for like, tell me about your history of your Disney fandom.
Oh, I just grew up watching Disney. I didn't go until 2019 after I graduated high school. But I always wanted to. I was hoping and watching the movies as a kid, watching all the TV shows as a kid. I wanted to be there.
Nice. So Zach, what about you? How did it all start for you?
So I also grew up watching Disney movies and Pixar movies, like the prime age for when Toy Story came out, Bug's Life, movies like that. I literally wore out the VHS tape for Toy Story because we had to rewind it so I could watch it so many times. I'd walk around the house just quoting lines from it growing up. Still do from time to time. But back in, I was in first grade back when the tragedy of September 11th happened, which is when airfare prices started to tank and Disney vacation prices also dropped. So my parents looked at that and went, well, why don't we see if we can pull them out of school for a couple of days towards the end of the school year and see if we can go down for a trip to Disney World. My teacher basically told them when they asked if they can pull me out of school for a couple of days, listen, he's going to learn more in Walt Disney World in Epcot than he's going to learn in my classroom at this point in the year. So why don't you just go ahead and take him? And I've been absolutely hooked on the parks ever since.
You know what? I always said that as a teacher, that travel with your family, you can always make up those lessons. There's always stuff that teachers teach is super important, right? I get that. But you only have X amount of opportunities to travel with your family to different places. It's invaluable. Travel is invaluable. And the teacher, I'm glad they said that. Do you have any memories of that trip? Because it was such a unique time in American history and world history. But, especially as a Disney fan, looking at the parks were very empty. I mean, they closed some of the resorts, like French Quarter was closed for a while. Does anything stick out to you as far as that trip?
Oh my God, yeah. So I distinctly remember still getting off the bus. We stayed at Caribbean Beach. I distinctly remember getting off the bus for the very first time at Epcot, which is the first park I ever stepped foot into, and I just absolutely fell in love. That was Epcot during the Millennium Celebration or the tail end of it in 2002. So Illuminations and all of the artwork and things like that. I just absolutely fell in love with it, and Epcot's still my favorite park to this day.
I gotta stop you there because we had this discussion. Again, we record these shows out of order sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
We had this discussion on a show that's going to air before this one. If you could bring back the wand on Spaceship Earth from the Millennium Celebration, would you bring it back?
I listened to that as I was driving home from work today, and I was thinking about that going, I'm so torn because I love classic nostalgia, like keeping things the way they were, but at the same time, that's the era that's locked in my mind that I have so many memories of from it being my first trip with the wand being there. And like you said, it's like that like late 90s, early 2000s era. It was perfect for the time,
You said that, my ears perked up because I'm like that, because you're right. I mean, because I don't know what it is, but like the music of Tapestry of Nations and the illuminations, just how the evening flowed perfectly during that time. It's like as soon as the sun started to set, the whole park kind of transformed. Everybody kind of made their way from Future World back to World Showcase. You would hear the drums, the percussion of the do 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 do. And it was Tapestry of Nations time. You'd watch the parade. God, that parade was perfect. Then it just bled right into Illuminations, which to me is still the ultimate nighttime spectacular. And I do give them credit for lighting up Spaceship Earth. That's amazing. Like they knocked it out of the park with that. But yeah, as crazy as it is, I was super excited when the wand went away. But again, I'm super nostalgic too. Like I don't know if I'd bring back the castle that was pink. I mean, Scott brought that up on the show. That was a thing. CJ, do you remember any of these things, like these nostalgic eras, or did you go back then?
I did not know.
You missed all this good stuff. Well, when was your first time? I mean, how many times have you been?
I've been twice now. So we had the trip just this year. And then the first time I went was in 2019.
So what are some of your, like, what's your like favorite thing when you go down there? Like what draws you to Walt Disney World? What are your favorites?
I think each time it was different. Last time my palate wasn't as wide. I was under 21, so I couldn't drink. So this time I think I was really in it for the food and really in it for Galaxy's Edge because that was being built the last time we were there.
Nice.
Last time I was just kind of like everything was amazing because it was my first time and I had nothing to really compare it to.
Yeah, even for me on his first trip in 2019, because I'd been, basically a dozen times before that. I got to see it from a first timer's eyes again. So it was like everything is new. We're gonna do everything again and relive all these memories for me, and start making them with CJ. And obviously, he's a huge Star Wars fan. So seeing the spires of Galaxy's Edge being built behind construction walls, and then the whole world shut down, so we weren't able to make it back there until this year was absolute torture.
Yeah, it is. You've gone through a couple of major world events to kind of keep you away, but go through it with September 11th and COVID. I mean, we've all as Disney fans have had to endure that, so definitely something that we've had to endure. So let's talk about this trip. So you guys, how did this trip come together with going down for Beach Club? You were there last February. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we, obviously our previous trip was in 2019. We just kind of decided we had done some other non-Disney vacations in between then and now. Decided that CJ's birthday is January 1st of all days, so we're just looking to take a vacation to celebrate that. Neither of us are really crazy enough to want to be in the parks on January 1st.
No, so it's a fun kind of crazy, man. You'd be there on December 31st. Go to Epcot for New Year's Eve. That is it's a whole scene, man. Many times. And by the way, my daughter's birthday is January 2nd, so very close. Go ahead.
Very cool. Yeah, maybe someday, but not this time. So we kind of pushed that.
Do it once. Do it. But don't blame me. But it's a scene. I'm telling you. But go ahead.
Yeah, we kind of pushed that trip off a month and just kind of picked a good week in February when most kids are still in school. We don't have kids and aren't really tied to any holidays that we have to travel around. So it's just take some time off of work and escape the frozen north here in Connecticut for a week in the winter.
So did that work out well for you guys as far as when you got down? I mean, we're going to talk about the details of the trip, but I mean, did you find like low crowds? We talked about the weather in the pre-show, but you said the weather was awesome. I mean, it was even better because we talked about this too. When I go to Florida for like marathon weekend, because obviously I'm from Missouri, I love when the weather's terrible back in Missouri. Like I love looking at my phone and, oh, there's a winter storm warning back in St. Peters, Missouri. Oh, it's 82 in Florida. Like, I don't know why. I'm like, I don't know, but like I want it to be super cold back home while I'm in Florida. Like I don't want it to be 82 in St. Louis and 82 in Florida. It's not as fun, but you kind of had the same thing. It was super cold. You had a blizzard on the way and it was beautiful down there that week you picked, right?
Oh my God, yeah. So when we left for the airport to fly down, it was single digits. We were standing outside waiting at the airport, shivering here, and then it was 80 degrees and pure sunshine without a drop of rain the entire week, which was awesome. We were getting sent, and it snowed during the week too, so we were getting sent pictures from friends and family that were shoveling snow back home, and we were sending them pictures of being in Disney World and beautiful sunshine, and then got slapped hard in the face with a welcome home with a winter storm right after landing back at Bradley International.
Yeah, it's all fun and games till you get off the plane.
Yep. Welcome home. It's gonna snow. Get the milk and bread.
Exactly. Like we have no food in the house. We actually have to try to get to a grocery store.
Yep.
Exactly. So how did you guys land on like the trip planning as far as like where you're going to stay and before you leave home, like deciding on like what the plan of attack is going to be when you're still back in Connecticut, and then we'll kind of talk about how it unfolds.
Sure. So I don't get me wrong, my absolute favorite resort to stay at is Wilderness Lodge. We've stayed there a couple times now. I just love the theming, love the atmosphere. We live in the woods here in Connecticut, so it's that rustic, dark feeling that I just absolutely love. But location wise, we kind of realized after our trip in 2019, it's like every night or at some point during the day, we wind up at Epcot, and it's just not the easiest resort to get to Epcot from. So we're like, okay, we definitely want to stay in the Crescent Lake area, whether it's boardwalk or beach or yacht club, just because it's just too convenient to be able to walk through International Gateway and be in the park. So that's how we landed on Beach Club. That and some I think you had originally actually booked us at Boardwalk, and then some room discounts came out, so we saved quite a bit of money by switching over to Beach Club. And I kind of went, Stormalong Bay is under renovations. That's okay. It's going to be February. We probably won't be in the pool anyways, and we were in the pool every single day. That's how that worked out.
It's always that's how it's gonna go. It's like 85 because the pool's under refurb. So I didn't even notice you guys live in the woods. I'm looking at behind you out your window there. You guys definitely are in the woods. And see, I don't even think about Connecticut as being like woods. Like that's why I love the show. I learn something every time I get to meet a new friend here, a couple friends on the podcast. That's awesome. It's ironic that you're drawn to Wilderness Lodge, even though you live that kind of lifestyle back home. Usually it's kind of the opposite.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, we're like in north central Connecticut and kind of in the middle of nowhere next to Western Massachusetts, which is also kind of the middle of nowhere. So, but both Eagle Scouts, both outdoorsmen. So we kind of grew up in the woods, and so it's second nature to us.
You say middle of nowhere where I live, and it's just like Dollar Generals and soybeans. Yeah, that's the picture comes to head for somebody like me when you say middle of nowhere. It's not much. Yeah. So let me ask CJ, what'd you think of Beach Club? I mean, did it meet your expectation? I think it's pretty nice. I mean, what were your thoughts on staying there?
Yeah, it was really cool. It was definitely very different vibes from Wilderness Lodge to Beach Club, and the convenience of being close to Epcot and was definitely used.
Yeah, no kid. Were there any regrets not being at Wilderness Lodge? I mean, obviously the proximity to both studios and Epcot and being able to walk and not have to deal with transportation, but being there in the wintertime, Wilderness Lodge is cozy. I mean, any regrets? Would you have changed anything?
I don't think so. I mean, we did visit Wilderness Lodge once while we were there. But I'm all for trying new stuff. I'm like not one to stay at the same place twice, do the same thing twice. So
that's good. I mean, you can always
next time you go somewhere else.
Yeah, and and that's a great point. You can always visit. Maybe schedule an ADR at a hotel you want to go see. Like Wilderness Lodge. You could, I don't know if you guys, but like do a Whispering Canyon meal or Artist Point, or even just jump and go over to Geyser Point. If you want and have something and just kind of tour it, sit by the fireplace. Well, I mean, it was 82. You said. I mean, you don't need to sit by the. I'm thinking it's cold. What am I thinking? It's cold back home. It wasn't cold down in Florida. What? I can't get my story straight.
Beach Club is nice. It's good for the warmth. And nice airy beachy feel.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what you guys had.
Yep.
So, I mean, was the room okay? Everything was good. So, Beach Club, you recommend for folks to check, especially now Stormalong Bay is back and totally refurbed. It's good to go.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, as anyone who's stayed at Beach Club before knows, the hallways are literally a mile long. So in our
I'm staying at Boardwalk and only for one night before the cruise in July. But dude, same thing. I mean, you can run a marathon in those things.
Oh, 100. Yeah, absolutely. I feel like we should have gotten a medal just walking to our room from the lobby every day.
For real.
We did get kind of lucky because our room was on the very end of one of the hallways. So there was like the side stairs or whatever we could go down and get in quickly, not have to go through the lobby.
Yeah, there's a sidewalk out the end of the super long hallway, so it's like zip, walk out the sidewalk, bang a left, and you're at International Gateway quicker than anybody else. So you can't stay much closer to Epcot than that.
Funny story though about those things. I always find them like on the second to last day of my trip. Like I'll be there for like 6 nights, and I'll find it like on night 5. I'm like, why didn't I find this on day 2? On day 1, like I've been going, all the way doing this big U, to get to my room that, probably added a half a mile to my trip every time, twice a day, 3 times a day. And I'm like, oh, I'm checking out tomorrow. And here's the secret shortcut that
you gotta be more nosy. More doors.
Like, where's this door go? Is a fire alarm going to go off? Probably not. That's awesome. Okay, so let's talk about the times because you guys really hit theme parks pretty hard. So, and you also, I want to talk about Keys too because I love that tour. But tell us about how you kind of set up your itinerary for like laying out your days. How'd you guys decide to do that?
So I think a lot of it was just kind of as much of a type A planner researcher as I am, we try to go with the flow as much as possible and kind of balance. We did a couple of individual lightning lanes for the brand new attractions just to make sure that we could get on them, and kind of scattered those 3 throughout the week. So that was we did one for Guardians of the Galaxy, one for Tron, and one for Rise of the Resistance, just to make sure that we could get on them, not knowing what the crowd levels exactly were going to be like and everything. And other than that, we kind of just balanced. Okay, it's like, okay, one day we're going to start the day at Animal Kingdom, start the day at Epcot, start the day at Magic Kingdom, start the day at Hollywood Studios, and then just kind of decide in there, like, how much did we get done from the previous day that we wanted to do, or jump around quite a bit. Because it takes a little bit of time to get from park to park, sure, but we kind of, we'll go somewhere for a couple hours and then park out to somewhere else, just to change it up for a bit. Like, okay, yep, Hollywood Studios is too crowded, or like our first day, we started in Animal Kingdom right at 7:30 for rope drop. Had knocked out Expedition Everest twice. Got on Kilimanjaro Safaris right at regular park opening at 9 o'clock, which is the best time of day to do that for sure, with how active all the animals are. Walked around some of the trails and just explored a little bit, and decided by 10 o'clock in the morning, we're like, we're kind of hungry. There's nothing here that we really feel like at this point. Let's, hop over to Hollywood Studios, and stop at ABC Commissary, because I really wanted to try that buffalo chicken mac or grilled cheese.
I saw that. Hey, that's always the right answer.
Oh, absolutely.
Now you got me craving one. Yes, but you're right. I mean, and I like your strategy, right? I mean, you were guaranteeing that you were going to see the big new stuff you wanted to see with the individual lightning lanes, because I think that's kind of what they're there for. Everybody's got a different opinion, and there's no right or wrong answer, because you can use them how you like. But that is a good use, in my opinion, right? It's like, you hadn't been in a while, new stuff. You want to make sure you see them on this trip, and you sprinkled them in. Also, some people use, now it's called Lightning Lane Multipass. Back, was it called that when you guys were back there in February? I can't remember when the date switch was. I think it was after this. But
yeah, it was still Lightning Lane back then.
Multipass. So, but the thing is, some people buy it every day for the trip. I buy it every day when I'm at Disneyland, because you just add it onto your pass, right? When you buy the package. So I just buy that in Park Hopper and just call it a day and just feel like a rock star out there. But when I'm at Disney World, I have an annual pass. So I typically don't buy it, unless I've bought it one day when I had my daughter with me, because she was just there for one day only, and she hadn't seen. It was kind of the same situation as you. She hadn't been since before Galaxy's Edge was built. And I told her, what park do you want to visit? She says, I want to go to the studios. I've never seen the Star Wars stuff. I'm like, all right, we're going to buy Lightning Lane Multipass that day. And we knocked out the entire park, like, boom, because, we did it. And it's great for that, because it gives you that access. But great strategy. So now, did you guys use the Multipass part of it at all? Or did you guys just kind of use like rope drop in and just being strategic about how you move around the parks?
Yeah, we didn't buy Multipass. I looked at it on the 7-day window before our trip and decided, like, for the price, it's really not necessary. We're there for 6 nights. We're very early morning people anyways. Like, even for when we went, virtual queues were still a thing. I know a lot of people complain about, having to wake up at 7 o'clock. Like, for someone who gets up at 4 o'clock during the week, like 7 o'clock, I'm up and ready to be out the door by then. I wish the parks were open already. Come on.
I'm with you. I mean, that, like, I'm always out on a run when the virtual queues open. My problem was I'd always have to set an alarm and stop my run so that I could push the button. It's like that lottery thing. Like, okay, now I can start my run again. I hate it.
Yep.
Same thing.
So no, we absolutely used rope drop and early act, or whatever what's it called now? They've changed that term a few times too.
The early morning. Yeah. I can't keep track. I mean, this is what I do for a living. I can't keep track. They changed so much. Early morning access, I think, or whatever they're calling it.
Yeah. We that extra half hour in every park, compared to the morning extra magic hours, like it used to be for one park where everyone was there that one morning, really worked out well. So we were able to, in some cases, like in Hollywood Studios, for example, we rope dropped twice. One morning we just went right over to, instead of going to Galaxy's Edge or to Toy Story Land, we zipped over to Rock and Roller Coaster to try to make sure we could ride that a couple times with its imminent closure. and we were on Rock and Roller Coaster on the ride before the official 8:30 park opening. And then just ran right over to Tower of Terror, hit that. It was just absolutely like just walked right through the pre-show queue, right onto the ride, went back to Rock and Roller Coaster, did that again, walked back over to Tower of Terror, did that again, well before 9:00. So we were able to do each of those rides a couple times and then head over to the rest of the park.
That's the irony, because everybody else is going for like Toy Story Land or Galaxy's Edge or Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway now, because that used to be 10 years ago. That's where everybody went. I remember standing there like waiting for, to be able to go that way. Nobody goes down Sunset anymore. That's good use of, again, it's that zagging when everybody else is zigging kind of thing. But you bring up a point though about the early morning entry at all 4 parks now at the same time. The only drawback to that is back in the day, my strategy was that I would go to the park. This is when they had the morning and the evening extra magic hours. So the way I always decided where I was going the next day is I would go to the park that had extra magic hours at night the next morning. Because I figured if people stayed out late, like if Epcot had extra magic hours that night, I'm like, well, everybody got their fill that night. Nobody's going to bounce back there that morning. So I go to Epcot that next morning. That was my default. That's how I picked what park I was going to the next day. Now I don't have I just got to think a little bit, but you're right. It spreads everybody out. It's a way better system now. It's 100. I'm glad you brought that up. It's a way better system, but that was like, maybe I didn't have to think. I just looked at the schedule. Oh, and Animal Kingdom had extra magic hours last night. I'm going there this morning, because everybody's stayed up late and they're not going back. Let me ask you a couple questions about when you went to the studios, because you brought up a couple points. Mama Melrose closed about a week ago at this point. So the Muppet Courtyard areas, the closure is starting. It's going to be gone here in less than a month. You said you guys went in there, completely packed theater. I mean, and you have the history, Zach, with it, more than CJ.
Yeah.
How were your feelings, kind of swan song for this attraction?
Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed that they haven't found a way to incorporate the Muppets into, or Muppet Vision 3D specifically, especially because it was Jim Henson's last real project, somewhere else, like maybe put it in the courtyard next to where Rock and Roller Coaster is now, or something like that. But I'm really gonna miss it for sure. I don't ever remember Muppet Vision 3D being so packed as it was that morning when we went in to go in one more time. And even later in the week, we took some time to walk through the Grand Avenue area and take as many pictures as I possibly could, just to remember it by, because I take pictures of everything. That's just my nature. Just to say, yep, this is what this used to look like before they bring in Monsters Inc. Yeah. So I'm nostalgic, and I'm not not one that normally likes change, believe it or not. So
me neither. I have a hard time with it. I like the new stuff, and I know it has to happen. I mean, I'm not mean about it, but I'm very nostalgic. Like it's a rough one. The Muppets, man, that's my childhood. I mean, that's really my childhood. I know it's just a building, right? And it's a building with a 3D movie, but man, I can just see like Sweetums is just getting ripped out. They're putting them in handcuffs, man, and tasing them and dragging them out of there or something. It's like it's not right. It's like, what are they doing to my Muppets and all that stuff? So let me ask you about one other thing. When you're over there, Smuggler's Run, you guys both got to be pilots. You put in the notes, CJ. So again, Star Wars fan, kind of first experience with Galaxy's Edge. So what did you think of Smuggler's Run? I will get your honest opinion on that attraction.
It was awesome. So the first time we did pilots, which was, kind of hard not knowing what you're going into. I'm big on video games and he is not. So we had very different piloting techniques. And then I forget what role we had the next time. We didn't get to do all three though.
I think I was an engineer in the very back, and you were
the gunner
on the second go around.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it. I'm normally one to get motion stick, but I find Disney does things pretty well with their simulation rides that I had no issues.
I'm glad to hear it.
I on the other hand was I was okay in the back as an engineer, but when we were like, oh, a 35-minute cue, let's just get in line because it's air conditioned. And it was hot at that point in the day, so why not? And then get up at the front of the line. Hey, you guys are both our pilots. Okay, great. That's nerve wracking. We don't want to screw this up. And I do get motion sickness in simulators like that. So at some point during the ride, everything was cool. And I'm like, okay, yep, great. We're flying the Millennium Falcon. This is awesome. And my mind just went, you're not really moving. And I had to try to hold it together for the rest of it.
Yeah, you can't think about that. Exactly.
Nope.
Oh my God. Yeah, you just messed up.
Yeah, I can't do Star Tours either. This
I can't.
This one laughs through it, but I can't do Star Tours either.
No, I can't touch Star Tours. I could do Smuggler's Run like if I had to. Like it makes me queasy too. And being the pilot though, for some reason makes me a little bit better because I feel like I have control.
Yeah,
sitting there, like if I get some like 5-year-old kid up there that's piloting the thing and it's bouncing, like you're just like, and you're the gunner or you're the engineer at the back. It's just like, you're like riding like a Wookiee that's all strapped in. You have no control. That's when that was the time I felt like I was just gonna puke all over. Like I'm a kid, focus. Like the teacher in me, he's like, "Dude, get it together, kid. You're bouncing us off these starships. What are you doing?" Yeah, that wasn't.
I feel like we both kind of felt like we could have done better as pilots, and then our second go around, we weren't pilots. We realized how well we did compared to the kids that were up there. We're like, oh man, we weren't so bad then.
I think the stick's just a little loose. Like I swear. I mean, I'm not a gamer either, so I don't know what I'm doing either. But I was like, man, I'll drive a stick shift. You know what I'm saying? Like I guarantee you 90% of the people in this theme park probably can't drive a manual transmission. I should be able to fly this thing. Come on now. Come on now. Yeah, it was great. That's what I like about it the most is the queue, being able to sit at the chess table and get a picture. And just like when you walk into the cockpit, right? I mean, that's the greatest thing ever. Like as a kid who grew up with Star Wars, watching that my whole life, like when I walked in and I saw the cockpit, I'm like, holy cow, I'm walking into the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon. It's like dream come true.
Yeah, that was kind of, and like even standing underneath it and like getting pictures in front of the Millennium Falcon and everything. I was like, wow, this is like real.
I almost shed a tear the first time I saw it. Like when I walked up on it, I was like, oh my God, it's full size. It's the Millennium Falcon because it was nighttime and it was all lit up. I was like, oh, this is unreal. So
I was going to say I have a confession to make with that too. Before we booked this trip, I had never seen a Star Wars movie. So my homework between the time we booked this trip and the time we went on this trip, my homework was to watch all 9 movies.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
That's bad. All right, Vader to the boat rescue. Okay, so that's good though. I mean, I'm a Star Wars guy. Just the movies. I mean, there's different levels of Star Wars fans. I'm not Dennis. Dennis in our Discord, he knows everything about everything. I know the 9 movies pretty well. I know the 3 old ones because I'm old. I know those 3 really well. So let's talk about Magic Kingdom. So the original park, what were some of the highlights over there? I mean, you guys more into the nostalgic things, but you also got to do Tron. That was new. So what'd you think of that?
Yeah. So I thought Tron was awesome. Obviously, even back in 2019, it was under construction and had just opened like 5 minutes before we got there with how long it was under construction. But I thought it was awesome. I know controversial, but I did think it was a little bit short. It was, blasted out 1 second and like, oh, hey, you're outside. And then you're back in the show building and, oh, wow, that's over already. Wow, that's cool.
I thought the technology and the ride vehicles were very cool. Though I'm not a big roller coaster person. So all of our photo pass pictures from all the roller coasters, I'm making the exact same face. I'm like trying to hold it in. I'm getting motion sick. But I just thought it was a very different, like, it's not the normal like strap in roller coaster. It's a
just pretend like you're going on a bike ride to the corner store, just really fast.
Yeah. That's how fast I thought I was going when I was like, I don't know, 10 years old.
Exactly. Yeah, like your 10-year-old best self. Exactly.
Yeah.
The video you get's too really cool. The picture of the video.
Yeah. So I'll have to share the compilation on Discord of all of our ride pictures where I thought I was having a great time. I thought it was awesome. And CJ was trying to hold himself together, but no, it was an absolutely awesome ride. Incredibly well done.
It is short, but I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But I'm fine with that right now. So
and don't get me wrong too. It's like I love Space Mountain. I absolutely love Space Mountain. It's just there's so much nostalgia there too for me. But we went right from Tron while Happily Ever After was going on. So unfortunately, we missed Happily Ever After that night, but got to see bits and pieces of it from Tron, which was kind of cool. Rushed right over to Space Mountain. We realized there wasn't much of a queue for that. And doing Space Mountain right after doing Tron with all the new technology and the smooth ride vehicles and everything was kind of underwhelming.
Accentuates how rough that ride really is.
Oh yeah, we that was our chiropractor visit for the trip.
Yes. Now, have you've been to Disneyland yet?
Not yet.
Oh my God, the Matterhorn's 10 times worse, and you can't imagine that it is. I swear, because I hadn't been out there either. And I'm like, nothing can be worse than Space Mountain. Oh my God, it's 10 times worse than Space Mountain. I laugh on it because I keep riding it because it's such a great ride. But I'm not kidding. I mean, they should do that to prisoners. Like to get confessions out of people. It's that painful. It is rough. It is so rough. It's unbelievable. It should not be legal.
I grew up going to Six Flags New England, which has some I think they're like the oldest wooden roller coasters in America or something like that. Those are pretty rough too. Don't recommend those.
Yeah, we have one at our Six Flags called the Screaming Eagle. It's the same way. I'm like, is this thing gonna stay on the tracks? And just rattles you. Like, I still have my internal organs. Yeah, yeah. The Matterhorn is a whole different kind of pain. So while you guys were down there, Festival of the Arts was going on. So how did you guys attack the festival over at Epcot? Because you guys were close there with Beach Club. You guys do that a lot?
Yeah, we stopped. We did there's a big paint by numbers mural that we took part in one day, which was really cool to get to be a part of that. What were some of the other things we did? We ate a lot of the snacks around a lot of the different food booths, and kind of instead of making more ADRs, this trip kind of took advantage of from the food booths because it's time sensitive when we're there to kind of a when in Rome situation. And then stopped through a lot of the art galleries. Didn't bring any home, but did stop and appreciate all the chalk art and the art galleries around World Showcase, which was pretty cool to see because we had never done Festival of the Arts before. A lot of the one of the photo pass pictures we got with the LED wand light painting was pretty cool too. We're both photographers too, so we can appreciate that kind of technology. Or that kind of simple skill, especially when we're not the ones that are having to sit there and do it.
So is that picture that's kind of up at the park entrance with Spaceship Earth in the background where they do the kind of the long exposure? Is that?
Yep, that's exactly it.
I've always wanted that, but I've never been there when they're doing that. Those are super cool. Those are awesome looking. Those are neat.
Yep.
That's cool. So have you guys gone down for other festivals or because you guys have been a whole lot, but I mean, was that Festival of the Arts, was that your jam? Was that something cool you'd do again?
Oh, I would definitely do Festival of the Arts again for sure. Yeah. I'd been for Flower and Garden, but not in over 10 years. I'd used a couple times when I was younger, gone down Veterans Day weekend for a long weekend when I was in school and gone for a food and wine festival. But obviously back then I was too young to really appreciate and enjoy all parts of it. So
yeah, just little snacks. Snack festival. Okay, so I want to jump into this too because we get a lot of questions about this on the show, and actually I get a lot of guests of the Magic for Less asking about this. Tours. You guys did Keys to the Kingdom. I've done this tour twice, and obviously I've done twice because I loved it so much. The first time I had to do it again, and I might do this a third time. I like it so much because the access, because you get the Magic Kingdom is such a unique place to be, right? And you get to. And the guide can make it a little bit different each time too. The host of the tour, without giving too many. I mean, you can talk about where you went and stuff like that, but you guys are big Disney fans. Tell us a little bit about that experience for folks that are curious about what they might expect if they do the Keys to the Kingdom tour.
I would say first of all, obviously, if you don't want to pull back the curtain and see what's going on behind the magic. If it's your first time going, I think actually the group that we ate lunch with, it was their first time in Disney World, and I was astounded that they would go and book Keys to the Kingdom right away.
Yeah, because seeing the Utilidors on your first trip, that's kind of shocking.
Yeah, that kind of ruins the magic for sure. For someone like me who's very much a nerd and and even CJ, who's very much a technology focused person and wants to like know how things work and see behind the magic. It was awesome to see and get detailed information about all of the information put into Main Street, all the windows, and without getting too much detail away, but all of the little secrets that most guests probably just walk by and don't pay much attention to when they're walking down Main Street towards the castle. All the theming and the intricate details going from land in the transition areas from land to land to land. Got on a couple of rides. Jungle Cruise is part of that, so getting to hear the backstory of Jungle Cruise and not the typical skippers jokes, which was really interesting. Same thing with Haunted Mansion, and then getting to see what was it, like where they kept all the parade floats. Getting to walk behind, just realizing how large the Pirates of the Caribbean show building is, and getting to see where they store all the parade floats and everything. It's amazing how quickly, in my mind, how you go from themed to just kind of a general storage area to
right.
Boom, you were through that door and boom, it's just the very utilitarian structure.
100%. I mean, there is a door in the Emporium that I've walked past 1,000 times. Like you walk through that door and it's like you are backstage right there. Because I either did that for a tour or a media thing where we walked through that door. I'm like, God, that door is so highly themed that I didn't even notice really that the door was there. And like I walked through it and bam, like there's like trash cans right on the other side, and you are backstage right by the Jungle Cruise, and I think there was a parade float back there too at the time. They maximize their space, the utility of it all. It's amazing.
And the other, obviously, the huge highlight of the tour, it was the getting to see the utilidors underneath Magic Kingdom, which to a longtime Disney fan was like, oh my God, this is awesome. And I was kind of expecting like, okay, Disney's gonna say that you're gonna see the utilidors and walk through in about 5 minutes, and yep, okay, you saw them. Now we have to shuffle you on your way so you don't see too much. We actually spent a very decent amount of time down in the utilidors, which was amazing to just sit there and like take it all in.
Did they take you past? Did they take past the place where like they have the pin collection? Like I did it years and years ago. There was like one stop where there was, okay, I didn't know if they still did it because I did so long ago, but it was, I remember there was one stop where there was something about the like, collectible pins. And I thought,
if you look on the wall behind me, which
I know.
I've been a huge pin collector my entire Disney life too, so I was absolutely in my glory getting to see that whole pin collection in the utilidors. Went through the costuming department too, which is really cool to see where they are putting together all the costumes in sewing, which is great that department lets the tour go through there like that.
Even gave us a little clipping of a costume.
Yeah.
We got like a little, I forget what show it was from. They told us, or they
probably from the 50s.
Didn't tell us, but they hinted at what it was.
That's sweet.
But it was a little like Mickey Mouse holographic clipping of a costume.
Oh my God. They know their audience, man. I'd love that. That'd be awesome. I'd have that here in the office. Oh my God.
And the same thing, like you described that door in the Emporium. It's like, I'm never going to look at this door the same way again, because it's the shop just to the right of Mickey's Fill Our Magic, where our tour guide, AJ, who was awesome. We just start walking into the store. The next thing you know, he opens this door that is kind of blended into the background, and we're down the stairs and into the area behind the magic.
You've walked past that door 10 times probably.
Yep, exactly.
All day people are walking past it, like never see it. I know, it's so crazy. And for people like us, right? I mean, we're the big Disney geeks. It's like a whole different level of magic, right? I mean, there's the magic of like Mickey Mouse and the magic of, riding Dumbo and he's flying and stuff like that. But then I think, once you've been a few times, like there's the magic of just how does all this stuff work? You know what I'm saying? Like, how does all of a sudden people pop out where there was nobody there, and like, that's why I like, I've done a lot of the tours now that I've done the steam train tours. I've done Marceline to the Magic Kingdom, Keys a couple times, because it amazes me how a place like that functions 365 days a year, 24/7. Like that's different kind of magic to me. It's unreal, and it's all the people to put together. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I we both work in IT, so we're both very technical thinkers. It's like we need to know how things work, how things move, and just logistics and planning, especially for me, is just like I love transportation and logistics and all the stuff that goes into making that place the big city that it is. So getting to see that behind all of that, and finally after being there, a dozen more times was amazing, and I would highly recommend it. And I would definitely do it again. The one thing though, walking like shortly after walking backstage is a warning to anyone who again doesn't want to ruin that magic. Once you see characters that aren't fully put together, you don't want to see that. Oh my goodness!
I know. It's something like they're on their break there.
Yeah.
I know it's startling.
There were definitely times like after the tour that I was just like looking at characters doing their meet and greets. And I'm like, that's just a guy in there. That's just a normal guy in there.
Seeing Jesse walking backstage, that's really just a guy not wearing the top of the costume. It was like, oh, yep, I'm gonna see that one for a while.
It's a little startling. Yeah, Geese the Kingdom can it definitely pulls back the curtain, and that's why there is an age limit. You have to be 16 to do that tour, so you can't do that under 16. And that you gave the reason why, because then I think you said it right up front. Like, it's not great for a first timer. It's one of those people who've been there a few times, and you got it. I like your full disclosure. Like, you got to know what you're getting yourself into. Not, this is one of those things where, okay, I'm preparing myself, because you're right. You can't unsee it. So that's the great saying. Now, let me ask you a couple, hopping back to Star Wars again, because we talked about Smuggler's Run. You guys also did Savvy's Workshop, and you did Rise. So, Rise to me is just one of the most ultimate kind of Star Wars attraction experiences there are, but I've never done Savvy's Workshop because I'm too cheap. I should. If I came home with a lightsaber, my wife would probably kill me. So I like to stay alive. So tell us about those two experiences, and what did you think of that?
So building the lightsaber, at least for me, was like, I was so tunnel visioned. Like, no one else was around me. This was not a group experience to me. This was just me and the guy directing us. I just had a great time. I went in there knowing exactly like what I wanted to build. I experienced it all. It was just incredible. I loved it. And I was planning on coming home with Kylo Ren's lightsaber too, but they were sold out. So I was going to be going there I was coming home with two of them.
Most impressive.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, I got to do that sometime. I mean, I feel like everybody's got a lightsaber but me, and I have a plastic like $20 one from that store at Downtown Disney. It was Downtown Disney when I bought it back in the day, like Once Upon a Toy.
Oh yeah,
this thing's full metal. It's heavy. I was actually like trying to figure out how I was going to get it home and not like taken away from me by TSA. Like,
you got
there's some spiky, sharp, pointy parts on it. Like, this isn't gonna go in the.
You couldn't carry it on the plane, because I see all these kids carrying these lightsabers on the plane. That's when I get my jealousy. Like, it's like,
I think most of them can.
Yeah,
most of them are like they're metal still, but they're like more rounded out. But I did.
Yours is lethal.
Control and Power was the theming. So both ends of mine had spikes coming off of them, and so I did have the blade. I did carry the blade on, but I put the actual handle hilt in my check bag just to be this thing is not.
It's probably a good idea. Yeah, because that's when it gets me. It's like when I've been wanting to real lightsaber for like a decade at this point, and almost a decade, and I see some 8-year-old bopping people down the line on my Southwest plane, like with their real lights. I'm like, oh, 8-year-old's got a $300 lightsaber, and I work hard every day for my whole life, and I still haven't got one. Like, this isn't fair. But
it's proudly being displayed on our fireplace mantle.
That's what I'm saying. I know. Because if I had one, it would be. I have my Alabama football sitting under my TV, and nothing would be over my TV. I've already got it figured out, like how it would look. But then my wife would be seeing it all the time. Like, I have to buy her something. It's $300 too. So that out. So what did you guys think of Rise though? What was your experience with that?
Rise was awesome. Rise was really fun. It's a very different like ride vehicle wise. I don't know. I don't think we had ridden Mickey's Runaway yet, which I guess is this kind of similar ride vehicle.
Trackless ride vehicle.
But that was really cool.
And the fact that it's not just a trackless ride vehicle like Mickey Minnie's where it's all on one level and just going around a flat surface too. It's the fact that they're able to incorporate it into kind of a simulator and an elevator and an action ride and all the Kylo Ren. You're gonna have to help me out on that one. All the different Kylo Ren animatronics.
Yeah.
Absolutely impressive. Jumping back to the lightsaber, one thing that the tip that I have for that when we booked that experience is we booked it right at park closing. That way, or like 15 minutes before. That way, once we were done with the experience, because I went and got to watch him and build it too, which was cool, awesome for me to see too. That way, when we were done with it, we had kind of Galaxy's Edge to ourselves. Nice. So we were able to get some awesome pictures in front of the Millennium Falcon and Kylo Ren ship without people everywhere. Just everything's lit up, and we kind of just had the whole place to ourselves, which was like awesome to get to see that and get some great pictures of that.
That's such a great call, but you got to think ahead of time to do that. But man, what a great. Let me ask you this too, kind of at this point. Like, did you guys bring any extra? Because you said you're both photographers. Do you have special cameras? Did you just use an iPhone? Like, how do you capture the images during the trip?
No, we just used our iPhones. I feel like a camera bag and stuff would slow us down.
Yeah. Just for sake of not wanting to carry a professional camera around the parks, which just our iPhone 15 Pro Maxes are good enough for most cases in Disney World, and being nimble at the same time with getting on rides and doing other attractions.
That's good to hear, because that's what I use. So okay, good. So at least I have something. Do you have any tips though for folks like taking pictures around Walt Disney World? Is there any like things you've learned for folks that are using iPhones to get good shots on their trips? Any like special apps or anything because you guys seem to kind of have it together for that stuff?
I mean, a lot of the photo pass people will also take photos with your phone. So if you see a photo pass and you don't have the I don't know what the package is. Memory maker. Like, you can still get the photos from them and then just hand them your phone. They'll take the same photos with your phone. And they are photographers. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, because we have Kim Taylor. She's in our Discord all the time. Good friend of the show forever since we started, basically. And she's, oh my gosh, if you see the pictures she posts. I mean, just personally, when she's just having fun, and the ones she takes are incredible. Yeah. She's so good at her job.
I mean, my tips are just, follow, if you have the grid lines on your phone and a level, just turn them on, make sure that your fingers aren't in front of the lens, take the extra 2 seconds to breathe and look what is in your frame, so that it's angled correctly and level, and it has some interesting features in the picture, and you're not just snapping a selfie in front of Cinderella Castle, per se. And it just makes those few extra seconds of paying attention to what you're taking the photos of, and from like trying different angles or crouching down towards the ground or things like that really make the difference, and giving it that extra touch.
Good tip, because I never have the grid lines on, so I'm going to do that. I'm going down in a couple weeks here for just a couple days for meet up with Pam Forrester for some stuff, and I'm going to try that, because I'm always trying to I'm not a great photographer, but I do like playing with it. I love seeing what I can do with it. It's fun. Like the thing is, I always say, like, the best souvenirs you can bring home are pictures. They're free, and with storage nowadays, you can take 1 million pictures. Doesn't cost you anything, and especially with like things like Google Photos on a 6 months from now, and it's freezing, a picture can pop up. Hey, remember that on this day that it was you were in Florida and it was 82 and sunny, and back home it's like 17 degrees and snowing. That's the best.
Yeah. Look up rule of thirds if you're interested. It's a small touch, but it really helps bring your pictures to the next level.
Will do. All right. So one last thing, let's talk about your sit down dining and what were some of the highlights there. Because I saw you went to Grand Flow Cafe, which is one of my favorites. You went to Le Cellier. Anything stand out as far as your table service dining? Because I know you did like Festival of the Arts mostly, stuff like that, but anything else?
Yeah, our first night we ate dinner at Le Cellier, which I've been there before, but it had been 10 years. Good to know that it still lives up to its hype. I had a fantastic filet mignon with a side of some of the best Brussels sprouts I think I've ever had, with some Canadian maple syrup on them. And you had
Blackened cod with potatoes,
which I think you were hesitant to think you were actually going to enjoy it too, but it was both were phenomenal. What was I going to say? CJ's Canadian, so it was.
Oh man,
so it was like being at home. Yeah. What were some of the other places? Oh yeah, we actually kind of last minute did a walk-up reservation for Grand Floridian Cafe for a brunch on our last day in the parks. Just took the monorail over from Magic Kingdom, and got right in. I had was it something eggs Benedict? I had some pulled pork on top, which was, oh my god, it was delicious.
God, that sounds amazing. Eggs Benedict is like one of my favorite things in the world, but I've never even thought about it with pulled pork on the top. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was called the Floridian Eggs Benedict.
Holy
so it was eggs on top of, I don't exactly remember if it was on top of a biscuit or an English muffin, but it was fantastic either way, with like a shredded hash brown casserole.
Oh my god, I'll be dreaming about that tonight. My wife will be like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I'm just dreaming about this thing that Zach was telling me he had at the Grand Floridian back in February.
Oh, and paired that with the sunrise margarita, which, oh, that was fantastic too.
Oh my god, what a way to go.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love that place, but I've never had that. Oh man.
We also ate it. My first, or our first time at Ohana, which now I know why it's so hard to get an ADR there too. Oh my god, that meal just fantastic, and just keep bringing out more and more trays of meat and food. Whew.
You did a dinner reservation. It says at 3:30 in the afternoon.
That was all that was available.
I love the way you roll. You're like, so were you just done the rest of the night? Because I mean, it's so much food, and it's like that starchy food that is like,
yeah,
with the noodles and stuff. I mean, we're just like done the rest of the day.
We kind of had to try to pace ourselves to make sure we could get through the rest of the day, because that's the night we finished it at Sabi's Workshop in Magic Kingdom, or in Hollywood Studios too.
It's a lot. It is so good though. It's hard to stay disciplined there because it's like all you can eat. You know, it's like it's so good you just can't stop.
Yeah,
that's good stuff.
We were also doing like, I don't know, 15 or 20,000 steps a day. Yeah. So like I could keep eating.
Yeah, same here. It's like I felt like I don't think I was full once during the trip. I think I did the math, and we walked something like close to 50 miles in the 6 days that we were there. Which,
oh my gosh,
and that's without doing GoPy.
Yeah, just keep it coming. So, just a couple other things, because we are running a little short. So you guys were there, and you CJ, you have, or Zach, you have the nostalgia. So you were there, kind of getting your last, photos and stuff with like the Liberty Bell, Tom Sawyer Island. I mean, again, that's kind of what I did in January too. Like I took my medals, and I thought, well, I went over to Tom Sawyer Island and took some pictures with like the Liberty Bell in the background from Tom Sawyer Island to like remember this year. I think a lot of us are going to be doing that here on our trips coming up, because this is kind of a good way to document that one last kind of hurrah with these things that are going to be changing soon. I think it's a great call.
Yeah, that was exactly why our trip was so jam packed. Was all the new, not only all the new things that were had opened since the last time we were there, but also trying to get all these other things in one more time, like It's Tough to Be a Bug, Muppet Vision 3D, and then the Rivers of America area at Magic Kingdom, where it's, like I said, on our last day, we just kind of stopped and took it all in, took as many pictures as possible. And one evening we didn't make it over to Tom Sawyer Island, but made it a point to get on the Liberty Bell, which we did right at sunset one evening, which we got some phenomenal pictures of sunset and around Tom Sawyer Island and Big Thunder Mountain, even though it is under refurbishment. Just to remember all that area, which again, that's kind of I understand that it's not a huge money making area where a lot of people go to visit, but it's a nice, quiet area of Magic Kingdom that you're not going to get anywhere else.
With you, I'm with you. I'm not going to win this argument because I've just seen it too much on social media, but I guess I'm too old school and I'm not a business person, right? Does every square inch of every park have to be, how much is this making per square foot? What's the return on investment per square foot? Like, I don't
Right.
function that way. Like it's a big theme park that makes a gajillion dollars a year. Like stop breaking it down to square footage. But that's why I'm not a CEO.
I'm on the same page as you with when it comes to all of that. It's like, but I like it the way it is. Why do we need to change it?
I know. But it will, and I'll be fine, and I'll probably ride the ride and have a good time. And you'll see my picture smiling on the ride. It's inevitable, and it'll be fine. But I'm like you though. You said it. It was just like almost a quote for me. Like I just have a hard time with change with everything.
Yep.
Like if just things around home, I'm just not. I adapt, but I do it begrudgingly. And so because like you said, you guys saw Luminous.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen Luminous because like a lot of the trips I've been down have been for races, and I just can't stay up late for races when you're up at 2:30. But you put in there Illuminations still better. Yeah, I'm so with you. Like Illuminations was the best.
My reaction to Luminous after seeing it the first time, I just kind of shrugged my shoulders, went, "It's fine." I miss Illuminations too much. It's still my number one top nighttime show. Back in 2019, when we knew it was going to go away, we saw it 3 times on our trip, and I will openly admit I was crying like a blubbering idiot every single time. I knew it was going to be like the last time I was seeing it, and now Luminous it's all right.
It's not fair. Because it's not fair to judge stuff against Illuminations. I honest to God, because like Harmonious was the same way. Like it wasn't fair to put up for me. It wasn't fair to put up against Illuminations because it's a unfair expectation because of how I hold Illuminations in my heart. And a lot of that too is just because of the time of my life. Like the Millennium Celebration was amazing. Like where I was, like I didn't have as much responsibility in my life when I was down at Epcot, and I was just like, you could just have a good time, and you just, I didn't have kids. I was just having a good time, and it's an unfair comparison. But I was there. I made a special trip the last night Illuminations played. I was sitting next to Dr. Kai. We watched it together. A bunch of friends of the show were all together. Oh man, it was a mess. It was a mess. Oh, so terrible. I can't go back there. So let's close out the show with something more positive. So as we wrap the show, because we were way long, this is awesome. I love talking to you guys, but you guys are awesome. So like one more highlight from the trip, anything else stand out as we kind of close out, or a tip for folks, heading down and checking out Walt Disney World here soon?
I had fun doing a lot of I think it's like Play Disney apps while we're like waiting around or waiting for other things, or even like they still had all the 50th anniversary statues.
Yep.
So that you like would wave with your magic band and you try and collect them all. So even when we weren't like on rides or we were waiting in line, like still had fun stuff to do around.
And they're doing stuff like that this summer out at Disneyland for the 70th, kind of similar-ish stuff with experiences around the park. That's kind of fun how they're bringing that back around. What about you, Zach? Any other tips, memories? Kind of close this out.
I think the last food-based tip is, we our other ADR was at Summer House on the Lake, which was great down in Disney Springs. But the cookie bar
I've heard about
they have attached at Summer House on the Lake. I know people rave and stand in line for hours at Gideon's, which I haven't tried one, so I can't compare, but I don't think you need to, because all the cookies that we got to go from Summer House on the Lake's cookie bar were oh my goodness, they were phenomenal. And I'm a cookie fiend and quite the cookie connoisseur, so they were good.
We are so alike because I am a cookie dude. I destroy cookies, and I hadn't had a Gideon's because of the rigmarole of like standing in line for the queue and all that stuff. Like I'm just like, dude, am I doing that for a cookie? For real? I got a crumble right across the street. But we did a live show from Give Kids the World a couple years ago, and somebody brought like a dozen and sat them on our table. Oh man! So I'm like, okay, if somebody's going to sit a dozen Gideon's cookies for free in front of our table, I will eat Gideon's cookies. And they were good. They were good. But I've heard, now, what kind of cookie do you have a recommendation for a kind of cookie that was maybe better than others? Because I will be down there in like 2 weeks, and I will be by myself, and I will have a little free time. I might have to get a cookie.
I think, let's see. I know we had a Blondie that was good. The peanut butter cookie if you're a Reese's fan.
Yes. Oh my
fantastic.
God. Oh, God.
And then it was like the other one was like a lemon. I don't know if it was lemon cream cheese or just lemon. But if you're a lemon fan, we had a really good like glazed lemon cookie. It was soft but firm on the outside, but that good citrusy lemon flavor. Oh man,
Sounds like summer.
yeah. I don't think you can go wrong with anything there personally.
And you can, the logistics of it though, you can just go straight, like there's like a window or something. You can go straight to the cookie bar.
Yeah, you can check in for the restaurant, or you can just go right up to a counter service area and drool over what they have and pick them out. Or if you're dining at the restaurant, you can get the menu and just say, hey, can we, check off all of these boxes to go at the end of your meal.
God bless America. That sounds wonderful. I love
that. Probably was safer too, doing the menu, because then we weren't looking at them. We were like, oh, these sound good. Whereas if we were in front of them, we might have had one of each.
Oh my gosh. Well, hey guys, I appreciate you taking the time. What an awesome trip. And love seeing you over in the Discord. And man, hope we can meet up down there at Walt Disney World. Congratulations again on that half marathon this past weekend. And so you said you're going to be down there for marathon weekend in January?
Yep. So my mom and I are going down. My mom's doing the 10K and I'll be doing the 10K and the half. So nice. I'm hoping for 2027 to make it and do dopey, but I'm not committed to that yet.
Oh, it's so much fun until you get to Sunday.
I'll get there.
Yeah, but the medals are cool. It's like you just got to get through that whole 6 hours of Sunday. But then when you get to the end, you get the ears and all the medals, and it's all good again. Then you sign up again like in 3 months, and you're like, what am I doing? No, it'll be great to see you in January. We'll have a good time, and I appreciate you guys taking the time. Then have a great summer up there in Connecticut.
Thanks, Mike.
All right. Don't forget our show is brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney adventure, whether it's out to Disneyland for the 70th, which is now kicked off. What a lot of fun we're having out there. Down to Walt Disney World for what we're calling a cool kids summer, or sailing the Disney Cruise Line. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Free services for you. Also, check out our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Please click through that when you do your online shopping. And thank you to our Patreon supporters. You guys make the show possible. Couldn't do it without your support. $5 a month is all it costs. And you get our bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest. Come over this week. We'd love to have you. Patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. You can follow me on the social media at beourguestmike. That's on x.com, Instagram, and Threads. I forgot where I was there. And you can also join us on our call-in show this Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, 5 places: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. We're live there. We'll take your calls. We have the whole new phone number that's worked out. Scott joins me. Let's talk Disney on Sunday night. And finally, do join us in the clubhouse. It's our Discord server. It's like a message board / live chat. We have a good time there 24/7. Come on over, beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse. So for Zach and CJ up in Connecticut, I'm Mike here in Missouri. You guys have a great week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. So the Cardinals game was 6-1 Phillies when we started the show. It is now 9-7 Cardinals.
Man. Let's see.
That's been a ride. I mean, it's been going like, I'm like, what is going on?
Tigers had the Sox 2-4 in the bottom of the 6th.
I was watching on the bottom. I was watching your score too at the same time. This game.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Celtics are tight right now.
Well, so Jason Tatum is from St. Louis, right? And he's like a huge deal here because he went to high school with my favorite quarterback from Mizzou. And man, that injury was just brutal. That Achilles. Yeah. Oh man, I feel bad for you guys because
I don't think it's gonna matter because I think they're gonna get knocked out tonight. So
man, I feel bad. Yeah, because like we don't have an NBA team, but we always get Celtics. Our sports guys will give us Celtics highlights because of Tatum. It didn't even look like it was just a weird injury. Like he just kind of stepped through the top of the key and boom. But what are you going to do? Well, I appreciate you guys. I'll get this edited and ready for Monday. And if you need anything, just give me a yell.
Cool. Thanks,
Mike.
All right. You guys have a good one. Take care.
Yeah. See you.
See you later. Bye-bye.